Hey beautiful beings, welcome to my first vlog. My name is Janine and I'm a starseed living in Germany. And in this vlog I take you on a little adventure to one of my favorite places, or should I say one of my favorite forests. But I have a lot of them, and I love all of them. But yeah, I'm currently visiting my hometown, and every time I come here, I'm visiting my family, and every time I come here, something is calling me into this forest where my grandpa's tree is, where we put his ashes after he crossed over. I can always feel his presence. I know that he's with me everywhere I go. But the moment I enter this forest and I get closer to this big tree, I get this feeling, you know. I know he's there. I know he's there with me. I know he's with me all the way. And it's always an emotional moment. And I always take my time. I take the time to breathe and to feel, to listen, to receive. And I always feel so grateful that he was my grandpa, and it always reminds me of how precious life is and how lucky we are to be able to experience this beautiful adventure called life. Well, I'm sitting at the edge of this forest, and in German it is called Friedwald, which is a peace forest in English, I guess. But yeah, it's a forest where you can kind of buy a tree, and when somebody dies, they put the ashes in the ground under the tree, and this way you can always connect to your ancestors by connecting to that tree. And it's a different feeling to connect to a tree than to a graveyard. But yeah, I guess it's a matter of taste, or what you would prefer, where you would prefer your ashes to go. Because here in Germany it's different. You're not allowed to take the ashes of your ancestors home, which is sad, because yeah, in all the movies you can see all the people like taking the ashes of somebody to a very beautiful place, and spreading it there and freeing them and letting the ashes flow with the wind. I love the idea. But in Germany it's not allowed to do that. So I guess we found a different solution and put the ashes under trees in a Friedwald. Well, I'm a little bit like drunk on the energy. That is why I talk so slowly. Every time I come here, it's like entering a different world. I mean, I always feel like I'm entering a different world when I enter a space in nature or a forest. It's like the forest has a soul and you are like connecting to the forest. And my mother taught me that before we enter a forest, we kind of say hi. We ask for permission to enter the forest, the sacred space. And so that is what I do, and I always feel like it's so calming, so calming. Yeah, and I already connected to my grandpa's tree because my grandpa is here. We put his ashes under a tree, and I come here every time when I visit my hometown. So I'm always saying hello. Hi.
Wollen wir uns bitte dazusetzen? Nee, sie macht ja Aufnahmen.
Ja, ich kann auch stoppen.
Bitte?
Ich kann die Aufnahmen stoppen.
Nee, machen Sie nur. Alles kein Problem.
Sie kann sich gern dazu setzen.
Nein, wir können uns auch hier hinsetzen. Danke,
Okay.
danke.
Well, yeah, I really love that forest. When I was still living here in my hometown, because I moved to Hamburg, when was it? At the beginning of 2020. But before that, I lived here again for a year after I finished my studies in university, after I got my bachelor degree. And the year I spent here, I spent a lot of time in the forest. And I don't know, it's always like I'm always called into this forest. I love it. I spent so many hours here. And it's kind of, I don't know, I can't explain the feeling of it. Even in a time where I was not that much into fairies or anything, I didn't even know about fairies. When I'm here, I feel fairies, and I felt them even when I was not consciously connecting to them. But in this forest I feel like all kinds of things, and it's a strange feeling. But it's a good feeling. I don't know, it's also weird because all of the ashes of all of these people are all over the forest in the ground, and you always feel like the trees have eyes. So you never feel alone. I never feel alone. And a lot of people are walking here, walking their dogs and visiting their ancestors and everything. So there are always people here. But I really, really like it here. I really like it. And I felt like talking to you or sharing a little story with you. Yeah, and I felt like doing it here because it's a little bit ironic, because it's a story about choosing life, choosing to live consciously, like choosing to live consciously every day. Because I don't know about you, but feel free to share with me in the comments. Like a lot of starseeds I know, it took me some time to feel at home in this world, and feel at home in my body. And it also took me a lot of time to accept that I'm different than other people, that I know some things, or I feel some things that other people don't feel, or I see things that other people don't see, or I hear things that other people don't hear. I feel like, there was always this knowing that there was more out there, like more for me. There was more in this existence. And I knew somehow, even when I was very unconscious at some point in my life, that there's a reason why I see more, or I feel more, or I hear more. And I also knew that there's a way to use these abilities for the greatest good of everything. Because, well, you don't get superpowers to not use them. You get them to use them, right? And like it is in all the superhero movies, you have to kind of get to know your superpowers in a way, and refine your antenna and learn how to use them in a healthy way for yourself and for the world in a way. So it took me some time to make the decision to walk this path and use these superpowers in a way that is serving me and hopefully also the collective and the world. And I heard about maybe some of you know her, the shaman Snow Raven. She's still pretty young, and she comes from a tribe in Siberia, I think, out of a very, very cold region. But she, on a podcast, she shared a story about the shamans in the village she's coming from, and how every shaman went through a period of like working through an inner process and kind of like accepting the role their soul chose in this life. And as some of you might know, when you're a shaman, you're kind of like, you're responsible for the tribe. You're the medicine man or the medicine woman, and you have responsibilities and things to take care of. It's like a life of service to others. A lot of people are living a life of service to others in their own way, like everyone is doing, is giving or living in service to others in their own way. But I liked the story because I kind of felt the same way. Because I knew when I would go all in, like when I felt deep inside of myself, okay, I'm doing this, I'm living this experience, and I'm living it through to the end, like walking the whole path. And I knew the moment I would decide to walk the whole path, I knew that there was no going back anymore. Because when I make a decision, I'm like, this is it. There's no turning back. It's the same way with ending relationships, or all kinds of relationships. I don't look back. I look forward. I walk forward, and I knew that I would get to this point where I would decide with all of me, with everything in me, that I'm going to do this. And I knew that in making this decision, because I don't half-ass things, I knew that if I would decide to walk the whole path, like to the end, I would go all in. And I also knew that I would give it everything that I got, even if I don't even know what that means. But I give it everything. There's a little mouse there. I was wondering what was on the ground, and there's a little field mouse, and she's pretty sweet. Well, hi mouse. Maybe she's my spirit animal today. I have to check later. So, for all the starseeds out there, maybe you don't even know that you're a starseed, or maybe you just feel not yet at home in this world, or not really anchored into this existence. And if you're guided to this video, I feel there's a reason for it, and there's a reason for everything. So maybe you already know that you're a starseed, or maybe you're just exploring outside of the usual field of thought that you're moving through, if that makes sense, if you're just opening up to this world. But no matter where you are in your personal evolution of your being, I felt like sharing this story because, yeah, it is possible to feel at home in this world. It is possible to learn to love life, to feel at home in this body, and to feel safe wherever you go is possible. I couldn't believe it. At some point in my life, I was like not feeling at home and not feeling safe. But yeah, it's possible. And it usually comes with the decision, or it was like that for me, maybe it's different for you, but it came with the decision to stay, to choose life, to be here. Because at some point I had a very, very critical phase where I was, journeying a lot through my inner universe. I call it my inner universe, exploring all the universes and all the galaxies, and like just traveling every single day through my universe and expanding and exploring, getting to know what is a little bit more about the origin of myself, and the origin of the universe, and traveling into my inner worlds, the subconscious realms, just exploring. And when you explore every day, you're like more in the other worlds than you are in this world, then it kind of gets it's not balanced. It's like you're not really rooted in this world. This is what I felt. But I had to go through this to realize that I was not rooted in this world, even if I thought that I was very rooted in this world. But when I traveled like for a year or 2 years, almost every day, I realized that I was not really rooted into this human existence. And because I kind of felt my soul, the more I traveled, longing for this space, for this bodiless space. And I was asking myself why that is. Why do I want to travel so much? Am I escaping reality? Like escaping this experience, And until I realized that I was escaping this experience, and I was getting signs from the universe or my higher self or God or whatever you want to call it, constantly telling me that there's a meaning in this, and there's a reason why we are in these bodies at that point in time. And I was ignoring them. I was ignoring a lot of signs for like half a year or something. I was ignoring a lot of signs until I could not ignore it anymore. It was impossible. It was like the universe hit me with a big wrecking ball and was like, wake the fuck up, it is time now. And I was like, okay. Oh my goodness. It was about time. it was about time to realize that there's a reason why I chose this experience in this body. And I'm telling you this because, yeah, through the journey of my life, I heard a lot of stories, or I don't know, I always felt very connected to the other side, like just feeling the presence of those who already left their bodies, being on the other side. And I felt a lot of starseed souls, and for some reason the universe guided me to their stories and how their lives ended. So I don't know, and most of them ended very tragically, and I was looking into every story, and at the same time I felt all the potential in these souls, and I was wondering what would have happened if they chose a different path. What would have happened if they chose life every day? So that was very painful. It was very painful because I felt them very close, and I kind of also felt them saying, or like giving me signs to not walk towards the same ending, because it was let's just say I got it at the exact right point in time, and I'm very happy that I got it. But yeah, I felt them and all the potential that they had or still have, and I don't want to judge their decisions, and I do respect that. I do respect the path they chose for themselves, but yeah, I was seeing and feeling all of this potential, and also some kind of regret in a way. Yeah, because life is precious. My starseed family, life is precious. And if you have thoughts that go into a certain direction, and you don't feel at home in this world, I want to remind you that you are here for a reason, and it doesn't have to be a big reason, like, I don't know, ending a war or something. You are here for a reason, and the reason is to exist in this body at this point in time. Yeah, you are here for a reason. You are here because we need your frequency. We need the color of your soul, or the sound of your soul. We need your soul's song. This world needs you. You are needed in this world. We need you here. We need you here. Please stay here. Please stay in this body. Even if on some days the world seems to go down in total chaos, but there are other days when the world seems so peaceful, where it feels so peaceful, and you feel peaceful. And no matter what you're going through, it's just temporary. Everything is temporary. We forget that sometimes. We forget that every situation is temporary. Yeah, I felt like reminding you that you are important. Your existence matters. And you make a difference in this world. You make a difference. Remember that. Remember that you make a difference in this world. And yeah, don't you want to know what kind of superpowers you have? Don't you want to see or feel why you came here? Just stay. Just stay and explore. Be here. Be here. Because when you decide to stay, in the moment you decide to stay, the energies shift. Everything is shifting. It's like life is celebrating you for making this decision. It's like the whole universe is like, wow, now she got it, or now he got it. But there's a reason you chose this body. There's a reason that you chose to be here in this body, in exactly the body you are in. There's a reason for that. And when you get that, and the universe is celebrating you for your decision, well, and you go all in. You go all in with everything in you. You go all in with your heart wide open, even if you have to heal it first. But yeah, go all in. And this is the moment when you invite in everything that you stored up there, all the miracles and all the gifts. When you say yes to life, when you say yes to life, they will all float into your reality. They will float into your existence, one after the other. One after the other. But make the decision to stay. Stay. Be here. Come home into this body. Be here. And then you are ready to experience all the juice that this life, this experience called life has to offer. Then you are ready to feel everything. And even if on some days everything feels painful, on other days everything feels joyful. And on some days you have heart-crushing moments. But maybe in the same day something happens where you can't stop laughing and you're in a totally different place. Life is precious. And there's a reason. There's a reason why you're here. There's a reason for your existence. Be here. Choose life. I love you. Life loves you. We love you. And we need you. We need you here. I love you.